Hey everyone, it's your favorite local realtor, Adam Brunelle, and today I'm back with Alyssa Hostetler from Premier. Uh, Hi Alyssa, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, living the dream, you know how it is.
Yeah.
All right, so I wanted to go follow up from last week's video. I got a few other questions from some people um, that are going through the process or beginning the process, and they just had a few questions they wanted me to ask.
Okay.
All right, so what exactly is a title search?
So a title search takes a look at all of the owners of the property. In New Hampshire, it's 35 years back to a warranty deed, and in Massachusetts, it's 50 years back to a quitclaim deed.
Oh, cool. And why would somebody want to get a title search done? What's the advantages of having a title search done?
Well, there's a few things. You want to make sure when you buy it that any past mortgages have been discharged, and if there's any current mortgages, we make sure we get the payoffs. So you're getting a clean title with no other mortgages except your own on the property.
Okay.
If there's any mistakes in legal descriptions or any mistakes where maybe a deed wasn't recorded and someone thought it was. A lot of houses in Massachusetts and New Hampshire have been in families for years and things get missed. So it's just to make sure everything's in place and conveyed correctly.
Okay. So basically to make sure who owns it says they own it and make sure that,
Yes.
everything's, fine and dandy.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
What closing costs would I have as a buyer in the process?
So for the buyer, you have your recording fees, which are your deed, your mortgage, and your state transfer taxes.
Okay.
And then the title company will have a settlement fee. Sometimes they have other fees for wires or overnights, depending on what you need, if you're doing a mail away, that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
But and normally it doesn't go over 700, 725 for that, for those fees. And then the title insurance, so you have owner's title insurance and lender's title insurance. If you have a
Okay.
lender, lender's title insurance is required. Owner's is optional but highly recommended, just in case something is wrong with the title. It protects you.
Oh, good. And what closing costs would I have as a seller?
So for the sellers, you have recording fees as well. If you need to record a discharge or a trustee certificate and we're responsible for doing that, then we will charge you. We will also charge you for preparation fees for deeds and that sort of thing. Unless you have your own attorney, then we don't, but they might.
Okay.
And then there's really not as much on the seller side. It's mostly their fees. So any payoffs they have, final water, sewer, that sort of stuff, just to make sure they're conveying the property clean from any money being owed.
Okay. What do I need to bring to the closing table, whether I'm a buyer or a seller?
So really it's just your ID, photo ID, and then for the buyers, if they need to bring any money, either a wire or a check. And in our case at Primer, we accept only wires.
Okay. And for wires, I've heard, things about wire fraud and stuff like that. People, getting scammed out of money. What does Primer do to help that situation?
So at the very beginning of the file, I send wire instructions to the buyer or borrower, and I make it very clear, do not send me any money
Okay.
until I tell you exactly how much when we get the final approval from the lender, and do not send any money until we talk on the phone and we
Okay.
confirm these wire instructions.
That was going to be my next question. If you talk to them on the phone before any money
Yes.
gets transferred.
Yep,
Very
I
good.
make sure that it's said a few times throughout the course of the relationship, because I want to make sure that that doesn't happen,
Mhm.
because we've all heard of that. And luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had to experience that. But yeah,
Super scary, right?
yes. Yeah.
So, Alyssa, who chooses the title company in the process?
So the buyer chooses the title company. The
Okay.
buyer can ask their lender, they can ask their realtor for recommendations. They may have a family friend, they may have closed with someone in the past and really liked them. But at the end of the day, it's the buyer's choice
Okay.
because they're paying for the service.
They're paying for the service.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. What documents do I get at the end of the closing? I know I get a set of keys as a buyer, but what other documents do I get?
So that's based on preference. You'll get a copy of all of the documents you signed via electronic email. If you want some paper copies, I usually do the deed, the Alta settlement statement, first payment letter, and the note, because
Okay.
those are kind of the big ticket items. And some people want full paper copies, so we give them full paper copies. So it really depends what you're comfortable with.
Okay. And the seller gets that as well, whatever they.
The seller will get a copy of the deed and the settlement statement, and then they also get some of their stuff for their taxes.
Maybe a big fat check too.
Maybe, unless they're buying another house, then no.
Okay. How much do title companies usually charge? I know you had mentioned something about $700.
I would
Is that
say
generally the fee?
the average for residential closings is not going to be much over $725, all
Okay.
inclusive of all the little fees that might be in there. I know that at Primer we try to stay more towards like the $650 range. I know other people will give discounts for military or first-time home buyers, and we've done that too. We have one now going, and it's military, and we're giving them a discount. So we're always willing to work with the client, as I'm sure everyone else is too, to make everyone happy.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. So one last question. How do I choose a title company? So I'm a buyer and I'm, educated, and I don't want to listen to my realtor and I don't want to listen to my lender. I just want to choose my own title company. I want to do my own research. What kind of things would I be looking for in a good title company?
Well, you could call me and I'll
Oh,
tell
okay.
you. So I would you can Google it, Google title companies in the area that you're buying your home, and call around. Call and see if they'll give you a quote. Most will. Most have calculators right on their websites that you can look. You really want someone that's going to treat you like a person and not just a file number. And you want someone that answers their phone. So if you're calling around and you only hear back from one, that's probably the one you want to choose, because they'll answer you.
Fair enough. Very good. Well, thank you so much for being here with me. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yeah,
It's always a great pleasure talking to you.
you too.
Do you have anything else to add to the video?
I don't think so. I think we covered the basics, but if anyone has any other questions, let me know.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Enjoy your weekend.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.